OTT Contenders 5, which took place last Saturday in the Ringside Club in the National Stadium in Dublin. Their first OTT's first show of the year, and it's cool, like, because they're actually really pulling the initiative when it comes to the Contenders show. They're having as many shows for Contenders now as much as the main shows now, which I think is awesome.
Yeah,
and it's cool because I think we have a good enough young roster now that, like, even guys who come in, like imports who come in, it gives an opportunity to wrestle with those guys as well as the more experienced guys. So it works in both ways, doesn't it?
It does. It's kind of like their NXT before their...
Pretty much.
Yeah, before their main show. Obviously, it's just not the night before, but it's still... shows have been coming better. Like, looking at it's like the shows are gathering pace. It's sort of like on a par nearly with the...
It's ironic because NXT is almost the most preferred roster for a lot of fans and watch WWE.
Yeah,
you can almost imagine this becoming the case one day. I'm not saying it'll eclipse the OTT's main show. I'm just saying it's certainly it's getting such an audience now.
Exactly.
So
and like the shows are selling out as well, which is great for the lads as well, getting the performance in front of full crowds.
Indeed, yeah.
I still haven't gotten the chance to go down to one yet, so probably getting my tickets. When do I get paid? I get paid Friday, so probably Friday is when I'm going to get my ticket for.
Well, they announced after the show anyway that for their next event next month that Bolo Promotions, Kip Sabian and who's the other person? And Girl Coffee were announced for that one. So Bolo Promotions and particularly keen to check out. But we'll talk about this first. Scotty Davis, fresh from Legit 100. All the guys from Legit 100, Michael May and Scotty Davis, came out in their Legit 100 theme actually. And actually, if you listen to it a few times, actually is quite an awesome theme song they have as well. I forget the band who it's from. Like, it's on my Spotify somewhere, but it's another story. Took on 8 Kids, who some fans from Cork may be familiar with from E-Wrestles down there at that time. But he's also I've checked out his Twitter account and he and the promotion he wrestles for is White Wolf Wrestling in Madrid. And they're actually a quality promotion. If you look through the promo and the crowds they draw and the type of wrestling they produce, it's one to check out for sure.
Yeah,
they attracted guys like Ricochet and stuff like that when he was before obviously now like wrestling there. So interesting to see. It was a very competitive match. 8 Kids actually a fantastic wrestler. Like he gave Scotty a very good match. Very back and forth. Scotty used a lot of his ground wrestling. It was very back and forth with high flying as well. It was a very complete match in terms of it told the story of the guy coming in against Scotty Davis, who is everyone knows now at this stage, like, you know, and I almost put A-Kid over, even though Scotty won. He won it with like a version of the Crossroads. It put A-Kid over. Okay, this guy's good. I want to see him again. And have another match with Scotty, like, you know, probably start something new with that, like, so. But it was an awesome match. Like, I didn't mention before this match started, they had a bit of a promo where it was the 3 guys from Legit 100. It was Curtis Murray, Michael May, and Scotty Davis. They're talking amongst each other, saying how awesome it was being in National Stadium last month. Here is first Mayfield Martin, then Darren Carney, and then LJ Cleary, then coming up saying, yeah, well, it should have been us. And they were like, listen, it was picked on the nights. Yeah, but we're the best wrestlers here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, are you sure about that? So it was kind of an interesting standoff. And then when they walked away, here's Gavin Fitz, Russell Dumpster, and Eddie Stone, thinking, I don't know what they said, but I think someone laughed from what they said in their accents, which we shouldn't encourage. But but it's interesting. Like, okay, there's three factions. What's going to happen here?
Yeah,
and we figured that later on. So, but no, as I said, Davis won the match, but A-Kid's got a very good reception as well. So it was a good show to open. So moving on to Session Matt Martina and the Fabulous Nikki took on Team Tropicana. The story just going into it was like a hashtag fancies Martina. Did you see that on Twitter actually?
I did, yes.
And I think it was over, I don't know I didn't pay attention fully to what it was, but I think it was where there was a rumour that Captain Sexy fancied Martina.
Yeah,
or something like that. It was a brilliant match, as you'd expect, like, from in terms of comedy matches. I love the gear from Martina as well. Like, you know how she sometimes would be wearing like leopard pajamas and stuff. She actually wore proper tights and knee pads and stuff like that. So it was a pretty good match. In the end, I'm not sure how it actually finished. It was I think it was just a scramble, and then it was a super kick from Nikki, and then the code breaker on Adam Apex for the win. So, and y'all hugged it out at the end. Like, it's one of those comedy matches where there's a comedic grudge at the start, and all ends in hugs after, I suppose.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but
what was the show? Oh, not the show. The promo was really good.
Yeah,
on it, leading up to it.
I'm really enjoying Team Tropicana. I have to say, they're an awesome tag team. They're super sexy. They're super sexy slip and slides, which actually they did that on Martina, but it knocked Captain Sexy out. As you can imagine. Nathan Martin took on El Phantasmo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He had a class entrance, by the way. He's from Vancouver, I think, but he came out very Prince Devitt, if you like, or Chris Jericho, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
The whole lights went out, and he came out with or even like Naomi, where he had all these like Kanye West like sunglasses that went multicolor.
Yeah.
And the edges of his jacket were like glow in the dark. So
I did see that.
It's a nice touch.
I did see the preview video on YouTube. I didn't get to watch the full show yet.
I saw one of his matches. I saw the highlights of a match he had against Brian Cage, which is actually a quality match. So I think, oh great, I can't wait to see how he gets on with him. So it was a very competitive match, back and forth. It was Martin who got the win with his version of the Destino move. So, but again, it's another match. It's a type of match that puts Martin over. Like, someone experienced coming in.
Yeah.
Another import is putting Martin over, and he's only getting he's getting huge momentum at the moment. It's exactly
what they need. It's opening eyes to new talent while also getting over the current talent even more.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to win or lose. Once it seems like a competitive match, then that's perfect. Once it tells that story, it's spot on.
Exactly.
Like in this case, Martin won. In A-Kid. A-Kid's a new guy now, but probably his loss puts him over because his stock's risen now as a result of that. Because even though he's probably very well known in Cork and in Spain, now he's familiar in Dublin. So it works well in that case. So
it should open up to probably more appearances here now as well.
Yeah, exactly. A mixed tag team match between Be Cool and Debbie Cattell against the debuting Gunter Isaac and Raven Creed. This feud was from the last Contenders, where Gunter Isaac tried to attack Debbie Cattell after she faced Raven Creed, and Be Cool made the save, making this match. Gunter Isaac is a scary heel. And I loved what he said I love what he said actually, where I'm Trio 5 Live.
Yeah.
How cool is that? But no, his size and his presence, even when he's against Be Cool or Debbie, he was trying to have here's Debbie who has this thing now. Oh, speaking of that, she was trying to she lifted and did the gorilla press on Raven Creed, but here is Be Cool, who has the squat gimmick. And I think after that, people went after she did the gorilla press on Raven Creed, it was like lift. So it's not gonna be a gimmick,
Could be.
She has a powerlifting background, that could work.
Are you just trying to start a gimmick for her now, are you?
No, listen, I'm not one to suggest anything. I'm just saying it's something she could use. Certainly if she teams up again with Be Cool.
Yeah.
He squats,
she lifts. He squats, she lifts. Yeah. He squats, she lifts. He squats, she lifts. He squats, she lifts.
Could work. It's like a weird pop song the way you say that.
Squat, lift, squat, lift. Yeah, that could work.
What's that technique in lifting where we have to squat first and then lift? It's Olympic sports, clean and jerk or something.
Yeah, something similar to that.
I'm not encouraging that name for a tag team.
Back to the match. Squat and lifts. The squat lifts. Squat lifts, maybe. Squat and lift. Not too sure now.
I'm not sure either.
I think you're gonna have to put some more effort into that team name, Dave.
It's not for us to think about, to be honest with you. We're just thinking about it here. It was a great match. Raven Creed and Debbie Cattell, they as always I'm really enjoying their rivalry, as we said, and it didn't surprise me why they finished second in the Kickies. And considering, even though this is a fairly new rivalry, it's only happened towards the end of last year. Imagine what kind of blossom it can blossom to as the year goes on.
Yeah.
It was the end. In the end, it was Raven Creed who got a chair and attacked Be Cool, I think it was, and causing a disqualification loss for Isaac and Creed. So looks like it could continue this rivalry more between the two of them now, going into maybe the next Contender show. So
yeah,
get a clean winner of that. So Now, LJ Cleary took on Dave Mastiff. Dave Mastiff is huge, by the way, especially like, and LJ is about my height, and here's Dave Mastiff, who's probably my height in width. I'm exaggerating, but you get the idea. And but like even though he's a heel, LJ, and this is here's the thing. Now we talk about how it's great we're getting people over in OTT, but here's LJ who's a heel. And especially now with his involvements with his faction now, is he getting over to the point now where he's becoming a face, in your opinion, or certainly for anyone who would watch OTT?
It's sort of that how do we say, tweener?
A bit in betweener.
Bit of a tweener, yeah. Like getting over with the crowd, but he's still, you know, he's still playing that heel gimmick.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Well, he probably plays it when he's by himself, but when he's with his friends, then it's out the window maybe. So maybe it's a two-side sort of thing, like, you know. Mm-hmm. It was a very good match. He tried anything and everything to try and get the advantage in this match. Like when you probably saw in the preview when he tried to push, when Dave Mastiff tried to push him in the corner. Foxy. Who, by the way, we didn't mention Foxy sporting a new haircut. That's another story.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Why did you mention it sooner?
Because I thought it'd be you. I knew you'd say it.
All right, and then when his back was turned, he pretended he was hit.
Yeah,
and it was clever until the third time he was like, "Ref." It was a very good match, though. In the end, though, I think it was. I'm not sure how disqualification was caused. I think it was. Oh, I know now. It was when the his Foxy's was against the corner, and LJ hit Foxy in the back, then went down, and maybe the ref thought it was Dave Mastiff and got him disqualified. Yeah. He ran around the ring doing his lap with his hands up, but then he got cannonballed at the end of the match, so he walked away a loser, if you like. So, it was a very entertaining match, though. Like, here's LJ who's trying to get an advantage, but Dave Mastiff is too big and too strong and too scary, but he found the way in the end. So it told a good story. That's what I like about these matches. It still tells the right story. Like, so. Yeah. Now, Doug Williams, the ambassador of British wrestling, took on Michael May. Very, very good match. Brilliant. Like, as you'd expect, like, fantastic technical match. There was a stage at one point where Michael May couldn't get out of even a simple wrist lock from Doug Williams, because even when he tried to roll him, nope, I still got you. Rolled again, nope, I still got you. Yeah. It must have happened at least 4 times until eventually he broke away. But very good match. I think it was back and forth. He was very close to beating him in the end. I think it was Williams who got a roll up to win. Like, it was a very competitive match. It was basically like the up and comer against the experienced veteran, but the veteran just had the advantage in the end. So, but again, it's one of these matches that only enhances May, like, of how good he is in competing against a very experienced technician such as Doug Williams, who is world renowned.
Well, you know yourself how good Michael May is from what he did to you last Saturday.
Speaking of bringing things up, I'm surprised you only brought this up now.
Yeah.
Do you want to go in more detail?
No. Well, why not? Why not?
All right.
So for people who don't know or who aren't aware, Dave had his forfeit last week, and he had to get 10 chops.
10 painful chops.
9 chops and a punch in the chest.
Well,
it turned out to be. It was. But we won't go into. But we did record it.
It's because Klong, when he stepped in, like he stepped in as if it was a punch instead of. Yeah. But that's
exactly.
It's a chop, if you ask me.
But the video is available on YouTube, and it is on our Facebook page too, and on our Twitter as well. Where you can see
I'm
Dave's.
I'm healed now.
I'm glad that you're healed, because I didn't want to keep you in too much pain. It was even hard for me to record it.
Really?
The sounds, and then just I felt bad for you, Dave. I did. I was thankful that I didn't have to do it myself.
Well, you know what? It feels like a Tommy Dreamer moment.
Yeah.
You know, remember when Tommy Dreamer took all those Singapore cane shots from the Sandman?
Yeah.
It feels like that in a way, where, you know, I've done it, and I've survived, and I'm like,
what, you want 10 more? I can organise 10 more.
No. I'm never doing that voluntarily again. Fuck, screw that. But as I said to you, like, it happened. I'm survived. Here I am. I'm still standing, and the recovery wasn't that bad either. Although I have to say, and Justy afterwards, he recommended that I put moisturizer on my chest. I put sun cream on, and my chest turned orange. It was from the bruise. Obviously, it was from the marks going purple and eventually orange. And I was like, I checked my hands just in case it wasn't fake tan. So
I was going to say, did you put tinted moisturizer on or something?
Well, I didn't know at the time, but no, it wasn't. Like, otherwise my hands would have gone bronze. But no, it was fine. You know what I felt like? Like you know this. Like you have several tattoos. It feels like when a tattoo is healing, it's very warm, but you feel maybe the particular bits that you can feel, especially if you touch them.
Little tingly bits,
like scabs, if you like.
Yeah.
No, not that I had scabs, but like I had like a few huge welts like in my chest afterwards. Those are the ones that were like particularly like.
You had a few that like blood was coming to the surface.
Yeah, that's it. Like that's what it was. No, I didn't scab or anything like that.
You had the perfect handprint in your top, like just below your shoulder.
I think that was Martin Steers because he was only him and Clong chopped me vertically.
Yeah.
So and his was I think that side. So like unless someone did that.
Michael and Darren's were the worst sounding.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Nathan Martin's was hard as well. Justy's was hard as well. They were all horrible. But listen. I get vindication, and I forgive me for saying this, but I felt like it's karma in the way. Like here's you saying, "I'm so glad I didn't have to take it," and here's you who couldn't walk for how many days after training?
3, 4. I could walk. It was just difficult.
You could barely walk.
It was difficult. Okay. I couldn't go down on my hunger. I had to think about going down on my hunker, like when you had to like hunker down and like grab something from the ground.
Yeah.
If you drop something on the floor, I had to think about actually doing that because I didn't think I'd come back up.
But there you go. But there we go. I've survived. Not more to be said about it, I suppose. We'll move on to the main event anyway of the show. Jordan Devlin taking on the returning Darren Carney, his first OTT show since returning from Canada. He's very Lance Storm like now in his approach as well. He had the pose. He had Lance Storm's t-shirts attached to his tights before removing them. He wears pink tights as well.
But he did that before he left.
Yeah, but it's ironic that he's coming from Calgary. You know what I mean? But it was a great.
He's in Toronto, not Calgary.
Lance Storm's gym is in Toronto.
I thought it was in Toronto. So
no, it's Calgary.
Is it Calgary?
It's definitely Calgary.
Toronto.
No, he's from Calgary, Lance Storm.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought it was Toronto.
It was a very good match. What I liked about the match is that like it was incredibly even. Like it shows how much Darren Carney's improved since he's been in Canada. Like it really has. Like that he's able to have this such a quality match. And here's Jordan, who's in the top of his game right now. Like he was definitely gave Jordan a fantastic match. So it was Jordan who got the win, finishing off with the package pile driver. But it was very competitive, very competitive. Yeah. So that, like it goes to show like the vast improvement he's made. So as champion. Right. Now the most interesting part happened after the match, where the three guys, Gavin Fitz, Eddie Stone, and Russell Dumpster, I like to call them the Princes of the North, attacked Darren Carney at. Well, for the records, like someone on Twitter called them the Nordy Shield, which I don't like.
The Nordy Shield. I kind of like that.
I prefer calling them Princes of the North personally, or Dukes of the North, one of the two. And
the attack just Nordies.
What?
Why just call them the Nordies?
Nah.
The Nords.
The Nords.
The Nords.
Anyway, they attacked Carney after the match. LJ Clear and Nathan Martin made the save straight away. Then Legit 100 came out, and as Fitz, Stone, and Dumpster walked away, there's a bit of a interesting stare down. Like they were at ringside, and the other two guys were there at ringside. So I'm like, oh, okay, what's happening here? Interesting developments. See what could happen there. So,
also should mention another interesting development. We didn't mention in the news. I think we should here.
Go for it.
That the approval has been granted for plans to demolish the Tivoli Theatre, and replace it with a 5-story apartment and hotel complex. The owner of the theatre, Anthony Byrne, has been seeking permission for a while to demolish the Tivoli and build an apart hotel. It's called, with a gym, restaurant, bicycle hire shop as well. People have been trying to fight this for a while. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, it looks like it's a lost cause because the plans have been announced, and it looks like the Tivoli is going to be no more. But
it's sad.
But it is sad. But despite the lack of how can I say, the lack of really good venues in Dublin,
there's very little now.
They may have found one there in the arena.
Yeah,
I think it's called the Arena, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what they're. I'm not sure that's what it's called, but it's certainly what they're advertising it as. Like in Slur, and it's in Slur Road. And to be fair, it's not that hard to get to. Like it's easily accessible by the Lewis. Like it's literally only outside. I was in Tala last week, getting the red line from town to there, and it's only 10 minutes Lewis, so it's actually not that bad at all. Like so. Like walking distance probably not the best idea, but taking the Lewis back and forth, it makes sense, and they're frequent enough. So, like it's not it's not inner city, but it's still we can't really judge really until we actually go inside and see it. But knowing how they've got on other venues, I'm sure they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
I've every reason to be optimistic about it, like and they're not going down without a fight. They're still going to try. That's for sure. I mean,
exactly.
It's such a shame though that Tivoli is gone, and obviously I'll miss it. I mean, that's where both of us seen OTT for the first time, and where it started and everything like that. So it feels like a piece of history now is gone and all that. But it's time to move on. Like no easy way of saying it.
Unfortunately, yeah, like you said, time waits for no man. So let's.
Going to put it by myself. Actually,
let's accept the change, and let's see where OTT is going to end up.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it getting any worse though as a result of it though.
Oh God, no!
No,
it definitely won't.
It definitely won't. Like it won't affect by a venue change.
No, it won't. It will never be.
Exactly. So all power to him.